Should Nikon cut their losses now before it's too late? Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. So today is going to be story time. Now, we're going to be talking about Nikon. I said I wasn't going to, but I basically have to, because there's been so many comments and so many questions and so much going on that I just want to give you my opinion. I want you to think about it also and understand where I'm coming from. So today, it's going to start out with story time. So grab a little hot cocoa, some tea, coffee, and just relax and listen to this just for a minute. Now, I've been doing this, as you see, for quite some time. Before I started doing my own channel, I did this with another channel called the Digital Photography Cafe for about 6 or 7 years. Myself and Trevor Current traveled all over, and we did a lot of reporting, news, as press, there are a lot of different events, okay? So, way back in 2016, which seems way back when it comes to photography age, photography years, let's call it. In 2016, Nikon came out with, or was slated to come out with, a camera series, and it was called the DL line. It was a DL 18-50, a DL 24-85, and a DL 24-500. Now, what was amazing here was in 2016, it was just chock full of goodness. Okay, guys, it had 4K at 30 frames per second. It would shoot continuous autofocus at 20 frames per second and without continuous at 60 frames. That is just amazing for back then. It was slated to be direct competition to Sony's RX100, RX10, as well as the Canon G line, the G7 at the time. So Nikon was really positioning themselves to get in there with that 1-inch market and just knock their socks off. Okay, so what happened was right around, let's say, the beginning of 2016, for the entire first quarter, there was a lot of rumors about the DL line, and there was a lot of leaking of like images and pictures. I'm going to show you some of these pictures so you can see what they look like. By July 2016, Nikon said, listen, we're going to be coming out with this camera in October of 2016. So everyone they were just excited. This is really, really big. By September 2016, the rumor mill said, well, there seem to be having some problems with their CPU, with their processing unit, let's call it, and it's probably going to be pushed back to January of 2017, but nothing was said. Now, more news came out at the time, unofficially, that Nikon was saying, yes, we're having problems with this image processing unit, and we're going to have to push it back a little bit. So just before October, when the release was supposed to happen, B&H started taking pre-orders for this camera. And now October came and there was nothing. Basically, Nikon went silent. Even though they were supposed to release this camera in October, they said nothing. There was no press releases, there was nothing official or unofficial, nothing. Everything went silent. Well, B&H kept on taking pre-orders, and they did so all the way through the holiday season until right around January. And at that time, we saw that B&H from pre-order changed the headline to coming soon. Now, only a couple of weeks after that, by February 13th, Nikon came out with an official announcement. Now, remember, they're silent as of October. We are now in February. They came out with an official announcement. I'm going to read it to you. It says, sales of the DL series will be canceled due to concerns regarding their profitability, concerning the increase in development costs and the drop of the number of expected sales due to a slowdown of the market. And that was it. The DL line was discontinued before it was ever continued. So this has happened in the past. Now, let's talk about the current Z series, okay, but with this in mind. Now, what I did is over the weekend, I watched a lot of firsthand type of hands-on reviews of the camera. And I saw some that were negative, some that were positive, some that were definitely just shills, just screaming how fantastic the camera was. But even with those, I watched them in detail to see if there was any nuances that I can get out of it to report back to you guys. What I found is simply this. Number one, we have that the Z7 was marketed as a, let's say, D850, a mini D850, a D850 mirrorless, okay, which it is absolutely not. Also, it does not have dual card slots. That is a big mega problem for a lot of people reviewing it because they're pros. You have to have dual card slots. Why? Because if a card goes south during a wedding, you lost the wedding. Or if you're doing like me, a lot of famous people that you only have 15, 20 seconds to take a shot in an event, if you miss the shot, it's gone. You can't, there's no redos. It's just simply gone. So pros need dual card slots. Also, I found that it has a very tiny buffer, maybe 20, 23, 24 shots before the buffer is full with the Z7. What are you going to do with that? Then, of course, it's now lagging and slowly writing these images to the card. Now, the card is XQD. It's not a CF card or an SD card. It's XQD, so you would think it'd be pretty quick, but it's not. And we see that they say, oh, well, we can go and do upgrades and then now make it compatible with a CF Express card. Why? Do it right the first time. They're not. The flippy screen, no articulating screen. A lot of photographers like an articulating screen, especially if they do video, so they can pop it towards the talent and they can see themselves and they know how they're set up in the frame. It is important to a lot of people. But what's even worse is the flippy screen doesn't even flip properly. It flips up, that's fine, but when you're flipping down to hold it up over your head, it's only going down a certain way. It's not going full 90 degrees. Another problem. Why? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, the fully articulating panel has been around for ages. Nikon has had it since the 5500 and the D5600 they've had it. Just install it in here. Why hold back? That makes absolutely no sense at all. Also, what I found is the autofocusing is not fabulous. It hunts a lot. People are missing a lot of shots. You can see it hunt. It's not quick. It is absolutely not quick, especially in low light. Also, when I saw some of these hands-ons, I noticed that the metering was not great. Many times you would point at, let's say, a subject's face, it will not hit the face and it'll hit, let's say, a wall, and now the subject is black and the wall is gray. Or if you just have multiple people, for some reason it doesn't find the face and now takes the brighter spot somewhere in the frame, and once again, they're dark. The metering is not working well, and I think a lot of it has to do with the camera not finding the people in the shot. Right? Not metering properly. Also, image stabilization is okay, but they said that you're going to get 3 axis of image stabilization when you have adapted glass. What I've seen, you might as well forget it. The adapted glass just does not work with the image stabilization very well. Also, what I saw, and this is in one of the shill videos, I'm not going to tell you which one, I saw someone go through the images, right? Flip through the image. Guys, the flipping looked like the flipping you would see 3 years ago on an Android phone. You know, when you flip and then it goes and you flip and then it goes and you flip and then it goes. What is going on? That to me means lack of processing power. It is not able to flip those images when you're reviewing them. It shouldn't be slow. It should be like an iPhone. You just flip through it, right? But it's not. It's slow. Moving around the menuing system is fine if you're using the controls, but even clicking on it, I can see there's a slight delay. So next you have these lenses. They came out with the 50 millimeter, 35 millimeter, and the 24 to 70, right? When you look at them, they don't look pro. They look plasticky. I haven't held them, but they look lightweight and plasticky. Not just that, the price. The 50 millimeter is $600, the 35 millimeter is $850, and the 24 to 70 is $1,000, guys. That is pro money for not so pro looking glass. All right. Also, you can get f-mount for probably about 1/3 the price for this glass, and even faster. I mean, these are f1.8, for example. You can get a 1.4 for probably 1/4 of the price or 1/3 of the price. It's just crazy. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Also, they spoke about the Z-mount, and they went crazy about the Z-mount, right? It's 55 millimeters. It's massive. It's future-proofing. We can do all kinds of great stuff with lenses, and we have this special glass coming out called Noct. And it's going to be amazing at f0.95. Well, that's all fantastic, guys. But if you don't have IAF in there, which you don't, and you're not tracking faces properly, you can forget it, because you have a depth of field that's literally the size of a piece of paper, all right? And it's going to be in and out. You're going to get like the nose in focus, the ear, the back of the head, the wall, I don't even know what. not the eyeball, right? It just doesn't make sense. So now you also have this glass that you're not going to be able to use. Plus, you're looking at $6,000 for this 58 millimeter knocked glass. That is pro money, once again, on a body that a pro is not going to buy. So, what do we know? We basically know that a pro isn't going to buy this system. Why? Because it doesn't have dual card slots and all the other things that I've just went through, all the deficiencies, let's call them. We know that amateurs are not going to buy this camera or camera series. Why? Because it's too expensive. You got $2,000 and you have $3,400. That is not amateur money. Now, my understanding is they're going to be producing 20 to 30,000 of these a month. Who is going to buy them? They're going to have all of these cameras sitting around. There's two options, all right? If they go forward with this, they're going to have to lower their price. They are not going to be able to sell this series for the price that they want to sell it for. It's just simply, in my observation, not going to sell. Also, a lot of the things that are problematic here, I feel, are hardware associated. For example, obviously, you don't have dual cards. Pros aren't going to buy it. Some of these things you'll be able to address in firmware, but some of them you might not. They need to take a hard look at this and decide what they're going to do. So I don't want to end this on a down note, but it just simply, that's just the way it is. Bear in mind, I'm not a fanboy for any company. I'm not a shill for any company. I just tell you how I see it. Some people like it and some people don't. I completely understand. But for me, I would rather have a really good, educated conversation here back and forth than just propping something up or just pushing something down. So let me come full circle, guys, and ask you this question. Do you think that Nikon should basically repeat what they did in 2016, 2017 and discontinue the line before it's continued? Stop that bleeding before it happens. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Please, if you enjoy my content, throw me a big thumbs up. That would be stellar. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button so you can get all my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. That would be awesome. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.